and welcome to today's video, everybody. So my name is Lauren Tickner. In case you are new here, my Instagram is Lauren Fitness, and today I'm going to be talking about, as you can see from the title of the video, how to stop eating when you feel like you just can't stop eating. Now, what I need to say before we begin this video is, if you are somebody who is suffering from an eating disorder, perhaps binge eating disorder, or somewhere where you just feel like you're constantly restricting and then overeating, I think it is really important for me to say that it is so important for you to seek help from a specialist. This video is just me trying to help some people who perhaps get in a situation where they just feel like they just can't stop eating, even though they just don't really want it. You know, it's nothing too serious and it just happens every now and then. It's not one of those things that happens very often, overeating for the sake of it, and it's not something serious. So now we have got that covered. Now I'm gonna get into the video, and guys, number one is being present. You need to realize what you're doing. You need to, let's say you have some goal and let's say you're cutting and you are dieting down and you want to hit your macros that day, but then you're just a bit like, oh, it doesn't hurt if I just have a little nibble here or there. Guilty. The next thing you know, you're doing it again and again and again, and this is just preventing you from reaching your goals. So let's say there's a bag of pretzels in the cupboard. Yeah, I'm definitely not taking this from my own experiences right now. Lol. But anyway, so there's a bag of pretzels in the cupboard and you keep going back for more. Now, next time, what you're going to do is as your hand is going into that bag of pretzels, you're going to say, okay, I am about to pick up one of these pretzels out of the bag of pretzels right now and eat it, but I'm not hungry and I'm just eating it for the sake of eating it. And the likelihood is that you will just put it back. The reason why I'm making this video today is because this exactly happened to me earlier. I mean, it wasn't for pretzels in this situation. However, it was for another piece of chocolate. I was about to go and grab another piece of chocolate and not bother tracking it into my macros, but then I managed to stop myself because I said to myself, Lauren, you're just eating this piece of chocolate right now and you're just being a bit of a dick with your food, because that's what I realistically was doing. I was thinking in my head, okay, I'm just gonna have this little square of chocolate. No one sees, no one knows, so it doesn't need to go in my macros. But just because you don't weigh out a piece of food, or just because you're telling yourself that it doesn't count, doesn't mean that it doesn't count. The rules of science still count. So it is just so important to be present in the moment, and 9 times out of 10 that will stop you from doing it. Something which I find really helps is realizing that I'm not actually hungry. So what I sometimes do is I sometimes think, would I really be happy eating plain vegetables right now? Am I really that hungry, and am I really feeling that much of a need to eat right now that I would happily eat plain green lettuce? And the answer is often always no. I mean, sometimes I do just kind of feel like I like to call it this nibbly mood, where I get really nibbly and I just want to kind of just keep grazing on food. But realistically, that's probably because I'm not feeling satisfied for some reason, and that maybe is because I'm hungry. But it's not always because I'm hungry. It's just because I'm always feeling, I don't know how to explain it, but as you're watching this video, I'm sure you know what I mean. You just get in this nibbly mood where you just want to kind of keep nibbling. Maybe even just eating loads. And that's fine, you know, we all experience this every now and then. But as I said at the beginning of the video, it's not something that should be happening often. And if it is, that is when medical guidance or expert help is necessary, and a personal trainer is not qualified as an expert. They are not actually allowed to help with proper eating disorders. So another thing which I do is, if I'm still feeling really nibbly and being present in the moment doesn't help, then journaling. Journaling can help because you can write down your exact feelings and why you're feeling it. So if you write, I just really can't stop eating chocolate, often you'll read that back and you'll be like, what the hell am I doing? I need to think about my goals right now. I need to think about my health, because overeating like that is not healthy, you know? It's not healthy to be shoveling down loads of calories all for absolutely no reason. It is something which I think after a lot of education, provided that, as I'm saying, is not an eating disorder, then you will be able to stop yourself from doing. And I am in this learning process at the moment, guys. I'm going through it right now just as much as potentially any of you are, and it's nothing serious. I really do need to emphasize that it is nothing serious. It's just me sometimes, and potentially more often than I should be, just being a little bit of an asshole with my food. And you know, a lot of people are like that as well. You might get home one evening, you're really absolutely knackered after work, and you're just like, oh, I just want the whole bag of pop chips, it's fine, I can just have it. And then you munch it down. Straight after that you have like a chocolate brownie, and these things happen, you know, whatever. But I do want to be healthy, and I'm all about balance and moderation. Everything in moderation, including moderation. And I think that there is a line, you know, between being over restrictive and being like, I need to only eat really nutritious, micronutrient dense foods, and then also kind of doing the whole if it fits your macros thing, then also including chocolate in your diet. But there's definitely a line where you can essentially be thinking that you're having everything in moderation, but really you're verging towards a side where it is no longer a healthy diet. I personally like to kind of say about 80 to 90% is the quality micronutrient dense food, which is rich in fiber, rich in nutrients, rich in just the foods which are kind of whole, and they're from the earth, and they're just, you know, decent foods, and we don't need to define them. We know what they are. And then there are the kind of less micronutrient dense foods. You can enjoy the other foods just as much, but these foods can typically be seen as the more fun foods, and the foods which are typically a lot easier to overeat on. And that is why I like to have about 10 to 20% of my diet as these foods, because I think it's important to still include them in your diet, because otherwise you do get in that kind of mindset where you're only eating clean. And I hate the word clean so much, because a clean food is a food that has been washed. Let's be real. So, no, but seriously, I think that it is important to have 20 to 10% of your diet being kind of the more fun foods, just because then that means that you're going to be able to stay on track a lot easier. And then, yeah, of course, there are some people who, when they just have a sniff of a hobnob or whatever, they feel like they have to eat the whole entire thing. But that's why I think it's really important to start practicing moderation, so that you can get it good, so that you can get good at it. Because if you do feel like you have one bite and then you just can't have, you literally can't have one bite because you feel like you'll overeat and you'll eat the whole packet, then that's really not a healthy relationship with food, and that's something that needs to be sorted out. And you can only sort things out by practicing, because practice makes perfect, even when it comes to stuff like this. Another thing that you can do is drink a cup of water, just down a glass of water, or have a nice cup of tea or a coffee, or just whatever. Just obviously not a salted caramel latte which is covered in whipped cream and bathed in marshmallows, because that defeats the objective. You could also run some errands, you know, get things done which you actually need to get done, because otherwise sometimes you can just spend so much time just like in the kitchen, just like looking in your cupboard and being like, oh, should I have it? No, oh, should I have it? Don't do that. Go do something productive with your time and actually get stuff done. This is time that you could be using to get tasks done that need to get done. So go do something productive and you will not regret it. But there's another thing that you could do. You could go see your friends, you could go shopping, do whatever, just, you know, go for a walk, as I said, go drive your car. I don't bloody well know. Anything but food if you are not hungry. Now, something which I've never done, but I've heard people do it. I said do, oh, so funny, is go brush your teeth. Now, the reason why I haven't done this is because I just think it's kind of excessive, and I think that maybe, I don't know, it just may potentially create a bad relationship with food. If you do think it would be worthwhile for you to try, then by all means go for it. These are just ideas that I'm floating around to help you. You could also meditate if you're into that kind of thing. I personally try to do mindfulness and journaling. I don't really like meditating myself. Maybe I just haven't given it enough of a go, but I really do like practicing mindfulness, which is kind of like what I said at the beginning about being present in the moment, the number one key thing, which I think is so important. So guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. It's kind of a different video to my normal type of videos. I do usually do vlogs, but thumbs up if you liked it and thumbs up if you found it helpful. Comment also below about kind of your experiences. Now, I just cannot reiterate enough that if you have binge eating disorder, or if you think you do have binge eating disorder, then please see a specialist. I'll leave a link below to Beat, which is a kind of helpline for people who have eating disorders. I think that's really important, and I am so all for raising awareness for eating disorders because I think that it is so important, and people still find it a bit of a hard topic to talk about, which is why I like to speak about things like this really openly. But yeah, this video has just been to help anyone and everyone, because all of my friends have said, oh, I just can't stop eating, like just when we've been at sleepovers and stuff, and they do not have eating disorders. It's just something that can sometimes be done, like the social environment can sometimes, you know, encourage you on, but that's when you really need to do this thing about being present in the moment and being mindful of what you're doing, and just realizing I am putting this food in my mouth right now, but I'm not even hungry. And of course doing that sometimes is fine, but doing it often is not, and doing it excessively just can then, you know, you might then overeat with all your friends and they were all cheering you on and stuff, and you might get home and feel absolutely awful, and you just don't want to feel like that. That's just not a good way for your body to feel, and I still do it, and I am still learning, guys. And me telling you this is essentially me saying, yes, I am on the same page as you, and I make mistakes. You know, I go to see my friends and have barbecues and stuff, and I'll overeat massively there, and that's fine to do every now and then, but it's not fine to feel so awful, and that's what I want to stop. I want to, you know, I don't want to be getting to the stage where I feel absolutely horrendous, all for no reason, all just because I couldn't say no. And that's why I'm really learning how to be mindful. And the reason, yeah, I guess the main reason I wanted to make this video is because earlier, for one of the first times ever, I was actually able to be mindful and be like, no, I'm not having this. I put it away. I stayed in the kitchen because I was doing work in there, which is a bad idea. Don't do work in the kitchen. That's another good way to probably stop you from eating and overeating. Is, yeah, so I managed to even stay in the kitchen and still continue to do my work and just not even think about food. And so I think that is such a learning process, and I'm definitely learning, and I'm just sharing what's helping me. And yeah, again, I just really do want to reiterate that it's not for people who have binge eating disorder. This video is not for you, and you need help. And if you think that you may have an eating disorder or something, I can't advise, no one can advise. You need to go and see a specialist, because that's really important. So guys, thumbs up this video if you've liked it. I really hope you have, so make sure you subscribe to my channel. I can imagine there's a few potentially new people watching this video today. So guys, I will see you in the next one, and peace out.